Hello everybody, and welcome to our show, Bulldog Weekly. I'm Mike.
And I'm Kylie. Here we'll be able to update you on the latest stories and news coverages of Old Rochester.
We'll begin with a weekly message from our principal, Mr. Devoll.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's the Rundown. Today is October 8th, and it's a Sunday. We've got a short week this week with a holiday. Monday's Columbus Day, but on Monday there's no school, but we have two school events happening. Our field hockey team is at a home game at 10 a.m. on campus, and boys soccer has a home game at 11 a.m. on campus. Come on out and support both teams. Tuesday, October 10th, is a day 3 in our calendar. We're going to have our Mentor Monday on Tuesday because there's no school on Monday, so for the Bulldog block, we'll be reporting to our mentors. Nice opportunity for the preschool students. The local fire department is going to come and talk to the kids and let them poke around some of the things that they do. In the evening, our golf team has a match at 3:30 at the Bay Club, and homecoming kicks off with our first skit rehearsal. So at 6:30 to 8:30, all 4 grades will be here in the evening in various locations working on their homecoming skit. So that's the first day of that. Wednesday's October 11th, and it's day 4 in our calendar. There's nothing happening during the day except for my flu shot. In the evening, 6:30, girls soccer has their senior night where we honor the senior class of girls soccer players. They have a home match against Somerset Berkeley, kickoff at 6:30. And Thursday, October 12th, this is day 5 in our schedule. We have our second night of skit rehearsals, again 6:30 to 8:30, all scattered throughout the building by grade level. Finally, Friday the 13th, a great day for our seniors. It's a day 6. Seniors are going to Ned's Point for their annual retreat, and so they'll go to their first 2 classes. After their second class of the day, they'll head out to the football field to take some class pictures. Then they'll head off to Ned's Point for the remainder of the day. It's a great opportunity for all. That's our week. We're hitting mid-October. The school year's flying already. We hope you had a great weekend, and go Bulldogs.
Thanks, Mr. Devoll, for that informative message.
Are you bored and have nothing to do after school? Well, lucky for you, Old Rochester has a bunch of clubs that you can join if interested.
Let's take a look at them, shall we?
So this is my first full year as the Sci-fi Club advisor. And I guess what Sci-fi Club does is try to give as many students as possible a place to explore the sci-fi topics that they're passionate about. We have people who love video games, board games, television, movies. Did I say video games? That's a popular one. So we're always trying to look for creative ways to incorporate everyone's interests. The club meets just about every week, and occasionally we also meet for Sci-Fi Club game nights, which was a new addition last year. And when those happen, we meet on a Friday night and play some very nerdy board games and card games that can be too time consuming to play in one meeting session. I guess the fact that I'm not so secretly a nerd is pretty fun. You know, I get a chance to talk to kids about something that's not just straight up academic, something they've got some passion about, whether it's Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica, playing board games, strategy games. It's a lot of fun for me to get to interact with kids about that stuff. What's cool about Sci-Fi Club is that high school kids don't always necessarily think it's okay to embrace their interests, the things they love the most. And when people come to Sci-Fi Club, they're totally unencumbered. And I love that. I think I have a lot of respect for it. And I think when I was in high school, I might have been too afraid to be open about how much I love some of these things. So it's fun just to see people having a good time and give them a safe place to enjoy those things. If I had a place I could go and play sci-fi board games in high school, I probably would have loved it.
So our club is Girls Who Code. We're open to all gender identities. Girls Who Code was originally founded to help level the playing field of genders in the coding and STEM fields. So right now there's kind of a gender disparity and there's not as many women coding, so that was the reason why Girls Who Code started. And the reason I started it is because I was really interested in getting more students coding, and their curriculum is really engaging and really awesome. And you're working towards building a project, which is the reason why I wanted to do that. The club started the first week of Bulldog block, so that was like September, that was the first or second week of September, yeah. The most fun part is that I would say a few of them had coding experience and the other people hadn't, and like already people are creating like really awesome, amazing stuff with coding. This past 2 weeks we've been working with Scratch. Scratch was developed by MIT. It is block-based coding, and you kind of are able to create animations and to do a lot of basic coding just through creating of the blocks. And like some of the stuff that people have made so far is like so amazing and so cool, and that's like my favorite thing, is like actually seeing people developing skills and like developing coding habits, and that's awesome. We meet twice a week. We meet during the Bulldog blocks, so for 30-minute periods, so it adds up to like an hour for the week. I think it's important that everyone learns code. I think it's important that everyone learns a different language. They're able to learn new skills and build new friendships. Some of these people have never met before, and now they're able to, you know, work on projects together, work on different things, and I think that's awesome.
Well, it's the math team. We have 4 competitions a year. They call them math meets, and we compete in the South Coast Conference. So we can bring as many teams as we want, but a team is composed of 5 individual students. I can have 2 seniors, a maximum of 2 seniors, a maximum of 2 juniors, and I need an underclassman. Each student goes into 3 individual rounds. They're 10-minute rounds. They earn points for correct answers, and then there's a team round at the end. So they do like the highest scoring team for each school, and you accumulate points throughout the season. And then by the last meet, they do a ranking, and the top 7 to 9 teams go to the playoff meet. And then there's also a state meet, but it gets highly competitive there. So right now, we're meeting on full day Wednesdays after school until October 18th. And we'll continue throughout the year. There are snacks at practices. When teams hold meets, they provide snacks for all the schools that come. A lot of kids like the mathematical challenge. Like it's different math than what they're learning in their courses. Some of it overlaps, but like today we did bases. They don't learn that in any course except a computer course. It also looks good on the college resume. They've been funding a scholarship. The Lockheed Martin's been funding a scholarship for a senior who's been on the math team for 2 years. So you don't see that in all the clubs. So that's an incentive also. And plus you just get better at math. So PSATs, SATs, you just have a stronger background. Math is fun. We have fun. It's a good group of kids that just like to hang out and solve problems. And it becomes a little competitive between them during practices and meets. So if you like math or if you're good at math, it's the place to be.
Thank you to all the teachers who sat down with me to discuss their clubs.
We hope you consider joining. If you have any questions, please contact the teacher running the program. So McKiley, are you a fan of books?
Well, I am a high school student, so I kind of have to be.
Then you'll love this next piece. I recently sat down with our very own Mrs. Brunelle, a published author, here to talk about her experience as a writer. Hi, I'm Michael Evans, and I'm here with teacher/author Kathleen Brunelle.
Hello.
Hello. So tell us a little bit about your books.
So the 2 books are here. The first one is Bellamy's Bride, and the second one is Cape Cod, Tyfield, and Tanglewood. And they're primarily about Cape Cod and different stories from Cape Cod.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Which book are you most proud of?
Well, I like them both, but Bellamy's Bride, I think I had more of a, I had a lot of fun researching Bellamy's Bride, and it was one specific sort of topic. I was researching one person, the girl, whereas for Highfield and Tanglewood, I was researching a bunch of different stories, so I like them both for different reasons.
What is your writing process like?
Mm-hmm. During the summer, I try to write every morning for at least an hour, to try to get up early and write, and before I start my day. During the school year, it's whenever I can write. But ideally, I'd like to be able to sort of write first thing in the morning. It's the best time for me. It's when I have the most ideas. And if I write too long, I get frustrated. So I think an hour is a good amount of time, and then you need to just put it away and go back to it. And you can kind of look over what you did and decide where to go from there.
Would you say that's the most difficult part of writing, the process of it?
Yeah, the process is tough. Researching is fun, but then sometimes you have such a big topic that the research can be pretty daunting and overwhelming, and so that can be difficult as well. But I think the writing actually it's tough. Once you get into the groove of it, or I'm in a chapter and I'm really able to, I know what I want to say, it becomes easier and I can be creative as I'm saying it. But sometimes you have writer's block and you're struggling. You know what you want to do, but it's tough to get it onto the page.
On average, how long does it take you to combat or get over writer's block?
You have to just put the stuff away, and it might be a day, might be a week, might leave it for a few weeks, and you just have to leave enough time away from the piece and then go back to it. So it's a little different every time.
Do you leave any like secret hidden like phrases or any other stuff that only a few people would understand? Like
Nope.
Nothing like that?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Maybe I will in my next book. Yeah, but I don't.
Cool. It's kind of a broad question.
Okay.
How do you define literary success?
So literary success, I think, is different for everyone. It's difficult to sort of break into publishing, really hard. I've been submitting my work out since I was 17, and had Bellamy's Bride accepted in 2009. So a long time. I was publishing little pieces, essays, poetry, things like that prior to. And when I did my master's degree, I had to publish my thesis. But it's a little different. You're doing it through the school. So pitching out to publishing houses it's pretty tough work. And a lot of times you never hear back from them.
Right.
Or you hear back 6 months later, and it's a no. So it's really hard to break into the business. And then once you break in, these sell sort of, these are Cape Cod type books, and the press that I work with sells books that are sort of regional throughout. They're based in England and the Carolinas. And so I would like to move to more of a mass audience, which is what I'm looking for with the book that I'm currently working on. And so right now I'm working on securing an agent, and that's a daunting process. It's pretty much the same process as trying to submit to publishers.
Wow.
Yeah. Most publishers won't take your submission unless you have an agent.
Sounds smart.
Mm-hmm. So success, I guess, finding an agent that you really like, and then being able to work with that agent to get your book out to a mass audience, I would say.
Do you have any inspirations before you go into writing?
I do love, I love research. I love the idea of research. I'm a huge Agatha Christie fan. I love her books. And she writes mysteries, so I don't write mysteries, but I do love the way that she writes. And I'm certainly influenced by her. I'd say Dickens is a huge influence for me as well. And I love the Harry Potter series. That's, a series that I love. And I have written some middle grade books that I haven't done anything with, but that's an inspiration for me when I go back to it. And I definitely enjoy reading nonfiction. Doris Kearns Goodwin, she writes a lot of nonfiction, and she's sort of my, I would say, inspiration for this type of writing. So I like her.
What was your favorite book when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, my favorite book was Where the Sidewalk Ends. So it's a book of poetry. Shel Silverstein. I love poetry. That's what I fell in love with as a kid. And that's what I wrote and sort of published while I was starting to work on larger things. And I still have like a creative sort of angle in my writing. I think that my sentences tend to be a little more, tend to have a lot of imagery, etc., even though I'm writing nonfiction. And so definitely influenced by poetry. And I love The Great Gatsby, and that's a beautiful book that is actually has, Fitzgerald uses a lot of imagery in his writing. And of course, you know, I love Shakespeare, so I love Shakespeare.
And final question, have you ever Googled yourself?
No, I have not. Have you Googled me?
I did.
Lovely. I'm not going to ask you what you found.
You don't need to.
Okay.
I have everything I know.
All right, that's good.
We want to thank Mrs. Brunelle for coming on.
For those interested, go check out Mrs. Brunelle's books, Bellamy's Bride, The Search for Maria Hallett of Cape Cod, and Cape Cod's Highfield and Tanglewood, A Tale of Two Cottages.
Well, that's it for our show today.
Yeah, but I can't wait for next time.
Until next time, I'm Mike.
And I'm Kylie,
And this is Bulldog Weekly.